Hello, welcome back to Madrona's Pulse Teachings. I'm Iris J, and we have got to talk about our astrology of the week ahead. So we're talking about February 3rd, happy February, February 3rd through February 9th. And there's kind of a lot going on this week. So we have firstly some major shifts, which is that Venus will move into the sign of Aries. So Venus is in what we call her shadow path. She is going to station retrograde later in Aries, and then she'll come back and she'll go back into Pisces. But right now, she is going to switch signs on February 4th. Also this week, we have Jupiter stationing direct, also on February 4th. That happens in the sign of Gemini. We also have some other cosmic conversations going on that we are going to feel, and they can be supporting us. We also have Neptune conjunct the North Node in there, coming into their exact conjunction this week as well. So there's a lot. How are you doing? How has it been going? There's been a lot going on in 2025. So let's see if we can weave a little bit of a narrative to help support us as we journey through. Okay, so let's kind of start in the beginning of the week, and we will move through as these energies emerge. So as we come into this week on February 3rd, we do have Mercury in Aquarius square Vesta. Okay, so Mercury is at 11 degrees Aquarius. It is square Vesta in Scorpio, and Mercury is also trining that Jupiter who's going to station direct. Okay, so this is important because Jupiter is in the sign of Gemini and Mercury rules Gemini. And so as that Jupiter is shifting directions, and of course that is on the 4th that it's going to station direct, it is in a conversation with its ruler, Mercury. And later this week, Mercury is going to conjunct the sun. So we have a very active Mercury. And Mercury is in Aquarius. This is an air trine. This is supporting a coming into a flow of our ideas. That said, the day that Jupiter is stationing direct, the day before, the day after, that can be a little bit of a stop and go in terms of the flow of our ideas. But we are coming in to hopefully a clearing away of indecision, ready to choose, ready to move forward. This is what Jupiter stationing direct on the 4th helps us with. Now, on the 3rd, right before the 4th, that Mercury is also squaring Vesta in Scorpio. So there is also something about honoring our creative flame, our healing journey, our true raw self in those healing journeys, bringing in the divine feminine. There is something about bringing in that divine feminine as we are moving forward, okay, as we are communicating. And also, then we're on the 4th and we have Jupiter station direct, and we have Venus enter Aries, leaving that incredible stellium that we've had in Pisces. And so there is a shift of energy here. Venus comes into Aries, and this is, Aries is the birthing of the self coming out of Pisces. And now we have Venus come in. This is fire for our desires, fire for our needs. Now, ideally, those are needs and desires that are coming out of that higher soul self. That Venus has just been conjunct Neptune. She has had her boundaries completely dissolved. She has merged with some version of a higher soul self-presence awareness that is way beyond anything that we can understand in this daily life. And now she comes into Aries, and this is about our values being more aligned to soul. Now, Venus is going to go retrograde. That suggests that we have got a journey of introspection coming to those values. So also knowing that we are in process with that kind of divine feminine love in our values and in our drive for connection. But there's fire, and we are relearning about fire over these next several months. And as that fire is rising in us, Jupiter stations direct. And so Jupiter direct in Gemini is movement forward. It is where we might have been having revisions, redirections. We get to move on. Okay, so this could be really welcomed for some of us. That said, it also might be having to make decisions. It might be having to make choices. And they want to be choices that are aligned with our higher self, because as Jupiter stations direct, it is trining that Mercury, okay, that Mercury in Aquarius. And also, as we come into all of this energy, we also have some things going on with Saturn this week. So Saturn is conjunct the asteroid Psyche, okay? Now, they are in Pisces. They're at 17 degrees of Pisces. And they are going to be trine our Mars retrograde this week. It's going to be exact as we come into the 6th of February. And this is going to last the whole week. We're going to have Mars retrograde, trining Saturn conjunct asteroid Psyche in Pisces. This is a water trine. Okay, so we have that air trine starting off the week. Then we come into water energy. This is a Mars retrograde. We have Mars retrograde. Mars will station direct later this month, but we are still relearning about our active drive, about our yang energy that helps us accomplish things in life. And it is being taken a back seat so that we can reestablish, well, what does it mean to have that drive aligned with authentic, genuine care and nurture of self? And now this week, there's this trine between that Mars retrograde, who is unlearning and relearning, and Saturn conjunct Psyche. Okay, so Psyche brings us into an asteroid that brings in questions and journeys of love, questions of introspection around love, sometimes some of the trials and tribulations around love. She's conjunct Saturn. They are in Pisces. This can be coming into some strong awareness around what we need on our spiritual paths, around boundaries that we need, commitments that we need to make for our own self-growth and love, to bring the divine into our life and into our action and care for our yang drive in nurturing ourselves and others from the perspective of spiritual love, okay? And this is all reinforced because we have extremely strong Pisces energy this week, because Pisces, at the final degree, at the 20th degree, we still have the North Node conjunct Neptune, and they come into their full conjunction this week, okay? And that is going to be exact on, I have got too many notes here, folks, too many notes, on February 7th, okay? So, this is, I use that word so casually. Spiritual love, divine love. I even saw someone saying Neptune gets talked about as spiritual, but that's really simplistic. Let's be clear, there is nothing simple about Neptune. There is nothing simplistic about the work of awakening and embodying the spiritual principles that literally exceed and transcend cognitive mind, ordinary language. Neptune demands so much, and that is why folks that have really strong Pisces, Neptune, 12th house energies, especially when they are the sensitive souls aligned to all that collective unconscious grief mixed with love, mixed with sorrow, mixed with the last breath of all that is, it's not an easy life. And part of the reason it's not an easy life is because of what mainstream society and mind and humanity has done in the West and what we actually value. And so we have the North Node coming together with Neptune. It's kind of overseeing everything right now. And this is potentially dissolving boundaries that we've had in our psyche, so that we can journey forth literally into a new reality, Saturn's going to come up and it is going to be conjunct Neptune. This is going to be later 2025 into 2026. And there is an opportunity here to construct new realities in ways that bring spiritual commitment in like it's never been before for some of us. Now, we're also going to have a lot of people refusing that, resisting that. And it's the refusal to do that that brings in the complicated language of this word, Neptune and illusion. The illusions of Neptune from an evolutionary perspective come when we are trying to bring Neptune into the limited understanding, the limited world. That is when we are in mystery that's shrouded in deceit and things are not, and that is not an awakening consciousness driven by love. To actually walk the path of Neptune conjunct the North Node, it asks a lot of us, and yet asking it is simultaneously when we want to surrender to it, because it is the journey home. And so that energy is here. And it's here also as we've got Jupiter stationing direct. It's here as we've got that trine between Mars retrograde and Saturn and Psyche. And it also, the only other thing I want to mention is that then as we move towards the end of this week, we do have that Mercury coming into its conjunction with the Sun. Okay, so that is going to be exact on the 8th, and it is going to move us to the 9th and through this week, and it's going to happen at 20 and 21 degrees of Aquarius. And so of course this is part of the journey of the cycle of Mercury and the Sun, but we are coming into this converging of those two archetypes, which is helping us to understand our authentic self. Okay, which is helping us to voice and have the thoughts and the words and the visions that align with our ever awakening authentic self, ever awakening consciousness. So there's a lot of energy this week. It is pulling us through. And, you know, we do want to watch the old nervous system. Jupiter in Gemini is stationing direct. Mercury is trine it in Aquarius. Mercury is going to conjunct the Sun. We might want to slow down and just take stock, be mindful. Again, always with this energy, when there's strong air energy, especially right now, we want to be mindful of media, messages, what we're bringing in, the way that we consume. Media is just like for our psyche, how we consume food for our body. We want to be really mindful and thoughtful about what we're letting in, especially when there's this heightened energy. The more mindful that we are, then we're also creating space for us to receive the insights and the introspective clarity that this week can bring. And again, it's all kind of underneath this conjunction of the North Node in Neptune, which is a lot. And it's beautiful, but it's beautiful not in a simplistic kind of, we put it into a box and we put in heteronormative beauty standards on it and we say, oh, that's beautiful. This blows that up. This is other realms of beauty, okay? And it's here. So I am sending you a lot of blessing. Bye-bye.